start.
Hi, Carrie. I'm JP Villegas. I am from Cebu, the Philippines. I was born here in the States, but I grew up in the Philippines. So I'm the youngest of 4 siblings. And just after college, I was sent back to the States to practice my profession as an occupational therapist, an OT. And since we were all born in the States, the next logical step was for us to go to the States and start to work there.
Yeah.
So my siblings were saying, JP, it's time to go to the States, it's time to make your big bucks, it's time to make your big dollars. I said, that looks like a very good idea, but then I look at the lives in the States and the lives in the Philippines, it's not really that different. I see my siblings, and yes, they made some money, but the lifestyle isn't one thing that I really would want to follow. And so I said to myself, is there another way? And then, of course, I saw that who are the people what's the lifestyle that I want? The nice houses, nice cars, all the vacation time, all the travel, and like this. Who are they? Are they just employees or are they business owners? I said, of course they're business owners. So I wanted to get myself into business. Here was the big problem. I didn't have any business background. My parents left their high-paying jobs to be full-time missionaries.
Oh.
So I understand my lineage, my history. I knew nothing about business. Nothing in our blood, nothing in our genes about business.
Yeah.
Good looks, definitely. But business, not at all.
Absolutely good luck.
So after that, I said, wow, I might have a hard time also. But then I thought about it. I didn't know anything about my course occupational therapy, but after studying 5-6 years of OT, I knew what OT was all about. I knew just like any skill, it can be learned. Being a nurse can be learned, being an engineer can be learned, being a successful entrepreneur can also be learned. So I said, if it's just a skill, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to learn.
Yeah.
So it was so timely also that my friend introduced me into Nu Skin.
Yeah.
At the time, Nu Skin was a skincare company, mud packs and facelifts and all. And at the time, I graduated. I played basketball for college. I was a varsity. I went to school for, as a scholar. And then I told my friend, Jen, my sponsor Jen, I think it would be hard for me to combine skincare and heartthrob. They don't mix. You're a basketball player here and you're doing the skincare business. And he told me, of course, he mentioned that in business it's not what you want, but what the market demands. And if the market demands anti-aging, you give them anti-aging.
Right.
So he showed me the results. He saw the people already who were making lots of money, who the lifestyle, and I truly believe in the industry of network marketing. So of course, it took me some time to join because I was involved in another company. But then I looked at it. I trusted my sponsor. I trusted the leadership, and that's why I got in.
Wow.
It wasn't a bed of roses then because I had a very hard time when I started. I'm not so sure if I told you this before, but when I started before, I really had a hard time. I grew up linguistically challenged, meaning I'd stutter, I'd stammer all through life.
Wow.
I would go carry, how are you?
Wow.
What's your name?
Wow.
Grade school, I was the laughing stock. People would tease me. It's like you're trying to make the lame walk. It's just impossible for me. So it was really hard for me then. High school, I was being teased. I tried to compensate with being in music and in sports and everything. But once I started speaking, forget about it.
Right.
There was an incident in grade 10 that I told my classmates, because like they used to tease me. They used to tease me the machine gun. Okay, because of how I
Not stuttering.
started stammering. It was just hard. So when I speak in front, they would go, shh, they cock their guns already. I said, of course, for me, it was hurting me.
Yeah.
And so I grew up insecure and all like that. And so there is one time when I was in grade 10, and there's this teacher who thought I was making all the noise, and he didn't know about my situation. I said, guys, keep quiet. And the guy, the teacher thought that I was making all the noise. He said, you in front of all us. I was shaking.
How
I
humiliating.
was humiliated. I mean, of course, he dismissed the class. And of course, he said sorry, but of course, what can you do? I can't also speak. I just went, I'm broken. I went home broken. At that night, I remember, I was crying. I doubted God all the more. I doubted myself all the more.
Wow.
And I was just thinking, what's my future going to be like?
Yeah.
What's my future going to be like? Would I just be, just a computer encoder or something that that wouldn't require any of me speaking? So I prayed. I said, Lord, that night, Lord, if you just give me back my speech again, I promise I will declare your goodness in my life, that I will decrease and you will increase. Just use me. So I prayed that prayer, and then after that, of course, I prayed, and then overnight, still the same.
Yeah.
I was still stammering, stuttering. I was more shy. I was more insecure.
Yeah.
But I was trusting the Lord that I'm sure that something good would come out from the situation. Anyway, after college, I was still stammering. I was still stuttering. I just knew how to hide it. After college, I got myself into new skin. And when you're in new skin, the things that you have to do requires speaking, requires communicating.
I can't imagine.
While people would have a hard time in trying to just answer objections, I was struggling because I was stammering. Jake, how are you? They know already it's me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just I'm stuttering. And how would they join me if I can't even read them and speak straight, right? So I really had a hard time, but I just kept on doing things again and again and again and again. I just got confident, and I started, to speak fluently. And the Lord just answered my prayers through the new skin opportunity.
Wow.
I was blown away. Just after a few weeks doing the business, I was thinking, wow, hey, I'm more confident. And the way I was speaking right now, it's a miracle. So, I was thinking, this is a God-given business for me.
How incredible.
And that's why when they ask me about this business, hey, how did I do it? It's all about God. It's not about me, and this is a God-given business. So all the time, how the Lord just molded me in this business. Looking back, I think that these are all ingredients to keep me grounded, to keep my faith, trusting in God. One day an opportunity like this can come, and build my leadership skills. And eventually, right now, we're very much involved with my wife right now in church.
Right.
We handle the young adults in our church, and we speak to thousands of people every single week. Things I never thought that I would be able to do. I'm actually doing now, all possible through God.
Wow.
So when I got new skin, a few days, you say, new skin is a wonderful business of how the Lord brought us. It's amazing.
Wow.
So this is a God-given business. God is good.
Wow, thank you, JB. You mentioned something about struggling. You were a Ruby for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
What was your breakthrough? Thank you for sharing.
When I got married, we can't stay Ruby. No. Of course, I want the best for my family, for my wife and my kids, and I just knew it was the next logical step for me, because I knew that if I had to step up, the law of the lid, I had to step up for my team to go up also.
Right.
So I just knew that I had to decide to really, by hook or by crook, I gotta hit it. So that's when I went from Ruby to Blue Diamond in 4 months.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
You also mentioned something about celebrating others. Earlier you were saying.
Oh, it's really important. I learned this thing about the hula principle, by Harv Eker, and he says that you gotta bless that what you want, and if if you want to be rich and successful, you gotta bless successful people. You gotta bless Blue Diamonds. You gotta bless, you know, like the $1 Million Circle members. You gotta clap for them if you want to be like them.
Right.
You can't negate a person that you want to be.
Right.
All right. Because it's like, yes, you want to press on the gas, but your handbrake's up there.
Right.
Right. So it's all within the. Everything is all in the mind. And your brain is so powerful. So I started here of course I went to the first convention. I was way up in the bleachers, the wall. I was up to the wall, all the way down. I was thinking, oh my golly. So of course it actually increased my belief on doing news. I said, this is the company to be. But while the team leads were coming out and the Blue Diamonds, I had jet lag, so I was sleeping. So in my mind also, it's like, of course, I was tired of clapping.
Yeah.
What that did was it programmed in my mind not to really want to become a team. It's not important. And then I realized that, you know, through the years that, hey, I need to start cheering for these people. I need to start doing that. And so from Ruby, I started doing that. I started visualization. I had to start declaring. I had to say, I'm a Blue Diamond. I'm a Blue Diamond. And you know, there was a time, Karen, I would gag. I'm a Blue Diamond.
Oh my God.
My mind wasn't in congruence with what I wanted to be.
Right.
So I really had to keep on, you know, saying, declaring, visualizing it. I'm cheering for every event. I'm cheering for the top earners. I'm cheering for all of them. Eventually, it got me to do the things that of course, that I wanted, that was needed for me to become a Blue Diamond.
Wow.
And a $1 Million Circle member also.
Wow.
So,
$1 Million Circle member. Awesome. Congratulations. JP, thank you. Thank you very much for sharing.
welcome.
Thank you.